Hey guys, Freedom Fighter 1776 here. Making another video for you guys today. This one's gonna be labeled 21-year-old Glock 23. I've had this one in the collection for a while now. Um, and like I said, it's 21 years old now. So I can personally attest to the Glock name, how reliable they are, and how durable they are. Um, so without further ado, we'll get into the review and talk a little bit more about it and some cool factors of why I've had it and why I've kept it, and probably I'll keep it in the collection forever. First off, I've done a couple things to it over the time that I've had it. As you can see on there, we have the Talon grips. This is a Gen 2 model, so it doesn't have the finger grooves on the front or the rail on the front. So the Talon grips that I have are for the actual Gen 2 or Gen 1 specific, so it doesn't have the finger grooves. Also, I have the grip plug in the bottom. Um, I like that it keeps dust and dirt out of it. When I do carry it, it'll keep lint out of it. And also, it makes it a lot smoother for mag changes, and it just looks better, I think, than a big, open hole sitting in there. Also, on the outside, I don't know how well you guys can tell here. Um, the front of right here has been beveled out. Now, that was actually done by the guy who had owned it before me. Um, you guys out there that have Gen 2s, or any magazine, or any Glock for that matter, that doesn't have the drop free magazines, um, they don't like to drop free. So it's good to have a little cutout there so you can get your finger in and strip those mags out. Um, it definitely helps a little bit, but now that the drop free magazines have came out, you really don't need it. But if I'm using the old magazines that came with it, which are another cool piece right here, these are the Gen 2s that actually came with the gun 21 years ago, and as you can see, versus like this new magazine here, it doesn't have a spot on both sides for the Gen 4 Glocks that have the interchangeable magazine release or the drop free. But the cool thing about these ones are it actually has a date on there. I don't know whether you'll be able to see it right there on the end. If it'll focus, it says 9/13/94, which I think is pretty cool. And then it says up here, restricted to law enforcement and government only, which I think is a really cool factor. Now, these magazines are, 21 years old, and they do still work perfectly fine. However, I use new ones just to be sure that they'll work, but, I keep these tucked away just because, they're pre 94 assault weapons ban magazines. They say law enforcement and government only on there, which I think is pretty cool. It shows how far we've come as a society. Um, Problem is, they're trying to put that back into effect, so hopefully we can fight that hard enough for them to let it go. Anyway, if you have those magazines, I say hold on to them just for a nostalgic value, if anything else. Like I said, they don't drop free. They're not the smoothest, but they are a cool factor. And keeping them with the gun is definitely a cool piece too. Um, as far as the outside that I've done, that's pretty much it. Internally, I have a 3.5 pound Lone Wolf connector, and then a competition spring kit in there, which I didn't use the striker spring in it just because with all the springs, I felt like the trigger pull was just way too light, and I didn't like it, so I left the striker spring the same, but the other springs I changed the trigger spring. And then, like I said, the connector, and I did a polish job on the inside as well. So after the polishing and the spring kit and the connector, I'm right around 5 pounds is the trigger pull, and it has a good reset now. The trigger pull is not bad. It's a typical Glock trigger, as it came from the factory. But this just makes it a little better, a little bit more to my liking. Then for the internals, that'll be about it. I do have a Lone Wolf 9mm conversion barrel for it, which I typically run in there. This 40, it's a Glock 23, so it's a 40 cal. I typically use that 9mm conversion barrel. It's cheaper to shoot, and I also have a Glock 19 too, so I have a stockpile of magazines that'll now fit both. So I can run 9mm through both of them instead of the more expensive 40s. As far as that Lone Wolf conversion barrel goes, it runs great. I've seen some that, you got the conversion barrel and 9mm mags and it still didn't run 100%. You had to take and change the extractor and the ejector to get it to run, flawlessly. However, with this one, I haven't had any issues. As long as I use 9mm magazines, it runs flawless. So I have no complaints there. It's been pretty good. I think I spent like, 100 and some dollars. I think it was like 110 on the barrel. Um, and I think I got a pretty good deal. That's pretty much the best price that I could find. And like I said, it's ran flawless since. So I'll take and throw that conversion barrel in there so you guys can see what it looks like. I went with the stainless model. I like the way it looks, but they have a black one also. I just like the stainless better than the black, so I'll take and throw that in there so you guys can see what it looks like. So there you go. That's what it looks like with the stainless conversion barrel in there. I think it looks good stainless. To each their own. You're able to pick what you like, and I think it looks good. One other thing, the finish on this, for being 21 years old, I think is phenomenal. It has a little bit of wear on it, which would be expected from being in and out of a holster and shooting and training with it for 21 years. But other than that, I think it looks pretty good for its age. One other thing I wanted to hit on was the sights. It came with these night sights on them, which I think are pretty cool. Get a good look at those for you. Right there, they're 3 dots. And they're, like I said, they came with the gun, so they're 20 some years old as well. They still light up. Probably not as good as they would, factory new, of course, but they still glow. They're still able to pick up at night. I have a set of regular Glock sights also. However, on this one as a defensive handgun, I run these night sights on them because of the fact that I don't have a rail to mount a flashlight. So as most of you guys know, pretty much any home invasion is going to happen at nighttime. So if I had to use this one in particular, I'd like to have the night sights on there to be able to see just a little bit better, seeing how I'm not able to mount a flashlight on there. But other than that, that's pretty much everything I have done to it. That's pretty much how it came versus the couple things that I've done. So I've had this one for a while and just wanted to give you guys a quick look at it and show it off a little bit, just to be able to say, hey, Glocks are made to last. They're definitely my go-to and favorite handgun. I'm a Glock fanboy. That's okay. I like them. They're reliable. I'd bet my life and my wife's life and my kids' life on them any day of the week. If you can't get it done with 15, 16 rounds of 9mm, you should probably have a rifle anyway. In closing, guys, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to let me know or make a video response or comment in the section below. But either way, I'll sign off, and until next time, I still have a couple other reviews I have to get done for you guys so you can see the other toys that I have and other stuff I've set up. But either way, until next time, remember, it's your right to own firearms and to defend yourself. And the only way they can take that away from you is if you let them. Have a good one. Be safe.